From the very beginning of time, man has been fascinated by the stars, and he has always tried to find some links between them and his own destiny. His observation of the stars and their movements gave rise to two very important areas of study, namely astronomy and astrology. Astronomy can be considered a pure science which is concerned with the measurement of distances, the evolution and destruction of stars, their movements, and so on. Of course, all these calculations are always made in relation to planet Earth and how these interplanetary movements affect mankind on a physical level. Modern astronomy seeks to find answers to the still unanswered questions regarding the origin of man and the final possible end of his existence as a member of the human race. It is a fascinating area of study, and our new knowledge of the universe and the galaxies has put much pressure on many religions to evaluate their old age postulations regarding a creator and the creation of life. Buddhism does not face any such dilemma simply because the Buddha did not encourage his followers to speculate on things which were beyond their comprehension. However, he has made many revelations which, in the light of our new knowledge gained through science, show us that the Buddha was very much aware of the true nature of the universe, that it was never created in one glorious moment, that the earth is merely a tiny, even relatively unimportant spark in all space, that there is a constant creation and destruction, that everything is in constant motion. Astrology, however, is a completely different area of study altogether. Ever since early man began to think, he was deeply concerned about his relationship with the universe. When man developed from hunting to agriculture, he began to notice a link between the movement of the sun through the years and his own activities of planting, harvesting, and similar projects. As he became more sophisticated, he was able to predict the movement of the sun, and he invented time, dividing it into years, months, days, hours, minutes, and seconds. He associated this knowledge with his existence, whereby he felt that there was a relationship between his own life cycle and the movement of the planets. This gave rise to the zodiac, the apparent path to the sun. It contains 12 constellations. A study of these movements in relation to the human being's personal life is called a horoscope. The study of astrology involves a great understanding of human nature, an ability to assess planetary movements precisely, together with an insight into the seemingly unexplainable phenomena in the universe. There have been many brilliant astrologers in the past, and some exist even today. The reason why astrology has survived throughout the long history of mankind is because of its ability to provide guidance and to give one an insight into one's own character and destiny. In the same way that an X-ray photography can show the physical makeup of a man, or a DNA test revealing the potential health problems of a patient in the future. Thus, an understanding of the relationship between cosmos and humans will help us to plot our lives more meaningfully in harmony with our innate tendencies, so that there is less friction as we go through life. A newborn baby is like a seed. It contains within itself all the ingredients which will make him a similar yet completely different individual from all other fellow human beings. How his potential is developed depends, like the seed, on the kind of resources and upbringing he receives. The nature of a man is born inherently within him, but his own free will determines whether he will make really good use of his talents and abilities that was given to him. Likewise, whether a man will overcome his negative potential for vice or weaknesses depends on how he is trained in his upbringing and the environment he is in. Our nature, our negative tendency towards laziness, irritability, worries, anger, frustrations, weakness, jealousy, We can take positive steps to overcome them and exercise our free will in a positive way for the good of all sentient beings. The very first step in solving problems in our lives is to recognize them for what they are. Astrological interpretations and predictions indicate our inclinations and tendencies as humans. Once pointed out, we must take the necessary steps to chart our lives in a manner that will make us useful citizens of the world. Even a person with criminal tendencies can become a saint if he recognizes his nature, exercises free will, and takes steps to lead a good life. A horoscope or an astrological birth chart is a map drawn to show the karmic forces man carries, calculated from the time of his birth. The karmic forces determine the time of birth, and knowing this time of birth, a skillful astrologer can accurately chart a man's destiny within a given lifespan. Everybody knows that the Earth takes approximately 1 year to move around the Sun. This movement field from the Earth places the Sun in various zodiacal areas during the year. A person is born not accidentally but as a result of karmic influences, and this determines the moment of his birth when the Sun is in transit in one of the 12 zodiacal signs. Through the horoscope or an astrological birth chart, the map of your life is drawn, and you can use it to determine certain times in your life when you have to slow down, certain times when you can push forward to greater levels of achievement, and certain periods when you have to watch over your health, for example. The question most people ask is whether Buddhism accepts or rejects astrology. Strictly speaking, the Buddha did not make any direct pronouncement on this subject. Buddhism, unlike some other religions, does not condemn astrology, and people are free to use the knowledge they can get from it to make their lives more meaningful. That is also the reason why astrology has been used by many monks in Thailand, Tibet, and other parts of the world to provide guidance and wisdom for devotees. If we study the Buddha's teaching carefully, we will come to accept that a proper and intelligent understanding of astrology can be a useful tool. Modern science is in accordance with the teachings of Buddhism. This means that there is a direct link between the life of an individual human being and the vast workings of the cosmos. We know, for example, that there's a close link between the movements of the moon and our behavior. For example, it is true that certain sicknesses like asthma and bronchitis are aggravated when the moon waxes. There is therefore no reason for us not to believe that other planets can also influence our lives. Both Buddhism and astrology accepted the fact that there is an immense cosmic energy which penetrated through every living thing, including plants even. Thus, the Chinese have often emphasized on the use of plants in improving one's geometry or feng shui. This energy interacts with the karmic energy which individual generates and determines the course that a life will take in interaction with his environment. The Buddhist teaching has also taught us that the birth of an individual is not the first creation of life, but the continuation of one that has always existed and will continue to exist so long as the karmic energy is not diminished through the final liberation in the unconditioned state of consciousness. And for a life to reincarnate and to manifest itself in a new existence, certain factors, namely seasonal, affinity, and other orders of nature, must be fulfilled. Many of these factors that determine reincarnation are supported by the mental and karmic energy in the consciousness of the soul, and all these elements are in constant interaction and interdependent with each other, resulting in a constant changes to a human being's life. According to astrologers, the time at which a person is born is predetermined by the cosmic energy and the karmic energy. Hence, it can be concluded that life is not merely accidental. It is a result of the interaction between an individual's karma and the universal energy force. A well-studied astrologer, as one who understands the cosmic as well as karmic influences, then can chart the course of one's life based on the moment of the person's birth. While we, in one sense, is at the mercy of karmic forces, the Buddha has pointed out a way through which we can escape its influences. All karmic energies are stored in the subconscious mind, normally described as mental purities and impurities. Since karmic forces influence one's destiny, a person can develop his mind and negate certain evil influences caused by previous bad karma. According to Buddhist teachings, a person can also purify his mind and rid himself of all karmic energies and thus prevent rebirth. When there is no rebirth, there is no potential life, and there will consequently be no future existence which can be predicted or charted. At such stage of high realization, spiritual and mental development, one will have transcended the need to know about his life because most imperfections and unsatisfactoriness would have been removed. Hence, a highly developed and enlightened human being like the Buddha would be liberated and broken free from the karmic chains that led to rebirth and sufferings. However, I must honestly confess that astrology cannot automatically solve all problems in your life as a normal human being who is not enlightened. Just like a doctor who can discover the nature of disease, an astrologer can only show certain aspects of your life and character that needs correction. After that, it is left to you to adjust your way of life yourself. In conclusion, it is strongly recommended to use astrology intelligently, just as you would use any tools which would make your life more comfortable and more enjoyable. If you want to reap the harvest, you must sow the seed. And knowing the best method, time, and location to do so will increase your chances of success. Likewise, astrology can provide you with a useful guide showing you the right time, right method, and location to carry out certain activities to achieve greater chances of success. But at the end of the day, you must exercise your own free will to make it happen. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Jason Hattarat from Dharma Galleria. May prosperity, harmony, and peace be contagious in your life.